Hello, it is your astro coach Sarah here for wellness astrology. This time for the moon in Sagittarius and the spring equinox. The sun's moving into Aries. Holy shit, here we fucking go. Okay, so Sagittarius is a fire sign, Aries is a fire sign. We have now I should go back just a little hair because right before the sun moves into Aries, it's going to conjunct Neptune and Pisces, which is going to um, burn off the fog a little bit. So like if you've been feeling a little bit confused or, just kind of unclear about things, like this could burn off the fog and clear some things up. May not entirely, and it may not for everyone, but it could have that effect. And remember that astrology happens in sort of like waves. So just because the sun conjuncts Neptune on the 19th, you may not notice it, feel it. You may already have felt it. You may have to wait a few days to feel it, like all of those sorts of things, right? So, but then the sun's going to move into Aries and join up with Mercury and Venus in retrograde, and of course, Chiron in Aries. The thing about the sun in Aries is that its ruler is Mars, and Mars is in Cancer, where he is at fall. He's not on his best. So it may feel a little different than a typical Aries season. Plus, two of the three planets, or two of the three cosmic bodies, I suppose, because Chiron's not a planet, that are in Aries are in retrograde. So that doesn't mean that we won't feel the effect of the fire, because the sun in Aries with the moon in Sagittarius, we'll definitely feel some fiery effect of this Aries season coming in. And this is kind of that nudge closer and closer towards planets being in fire and air signs. And so I've talked about this before, like fire and air is much faster energy. So things may start moving a bit faster and changes may start happening faster. And Aries is kind of like that sprinter that can do the 100-meter dash, but can't run a marathon, right? So, like 100-meter dash folks use a starting block because they need to be in that vroom position, versus a marathoner that can kind of just start running from, yeah. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here, is that we may get like a jolt, we may get a kickstart, we may get a jump start. But that doesn't mean that we'll have stamina or stay power, because it's Aries. So it's that sprinter capability, but not the long haul capability. And so there's that aspect of it. Physical symptoms, inflammation, blood, things like that. Inflammation in your joints, root chakra, solar plexus chakra, head, anything to do with like the head, the jaw, things like that might be affected through this Aries season. Certainly inflammation though, and blood related things. So be on the lookout for those types of things. I know that I have heard over the last like maybe year or two of people losing blood mysteriously and needing blood transfusions to like get units of blood put into their body because they're not producing blood. And so iron, so be aware of like your nutrition when it comes to iron, red meat, and some greens, but mostly red meat and or like beef liver. Maybe this is going to be when I'm going to try beef liver. I've been wanting to for a while, because when I took my cosmic vitality, which was astrology nutrition with astrology class, like that was the thing she kept mentioning was beef liver. And I've never had it because my mom never liked it. So I've not had it. And I want to try it just to see if I like it. But certainly good time to check on your iron numbers, make sure that they're good. And all that. And if you don't already, maybe think about an iron supplement, or there's something called an iron fish. I think it's called the lucky fish. that you can get, and you can use that to like add iron to like water that you use to like maybe brew your coffee or make your tea or, soup or whatever. But good time to check your iron numbers. Good time to be attentive to iron, how much of it you're consuming. Like I said, red meat, best option for iron. And things like that. So, inflammation, be aware of like inflammation in your joints. I'm hearing like tinnitus and things like that. Um, and inflammation in your gut because we have that South Node in Virgo. So, inflammation in your gut, inflammation throughout your digestive system. So, being attentive to things that how you digest food. And so, I mean, you guys have heard me talk about Cheetos. I used to love Cheetos. I cannot eat them anymore. I have to be very careful about the amount of Cheetos that I eat, or any other, potato chip or whatever. There are some that I can still eat and I'm okay, but like Cheetos, Doritos, things like that, like I can't. And it may just be because of the flavor coating that's on them, not necessarily the chip itself. But inflammation, inflammatory foods, fried foods with like not non like non animal type, or not, what am I want to say here, like hydrogenated and stuff like that, like oils, like canola, vegetable, stuff like that. So you kind of want to lean more towards like good quality, like good high quality avocado or olive, or even just straight butter. I'm a straight butter type of girly. Just I watched how, like, what types of fats do better for my joints and my overall functionality, than anything else. Like, so I can tell you that butter and animal fat does better for me than like even olive oil does. I do use avocado oil, and that one doesn't seem to be a problem, but I use butter most of the time. So you kind of want to pay attention to how your body reacts and responds to different, fats that you're using, just different foods that you're consuming. And again, I'm going to go back to this. Most people don't know how to interpret their body. They don't know how to pay attention to these things. They don't know how to pay attention to like acid indigestion and how their joints feel when they eat certain things, right? So just be aware of inflammation and things that you can do to combat it, like ginger, turmeric, and things like that, that help alleviate, dandelion roots, another one that help alleviate inflammation, um, as we move more into Aries season. Okay, what else we got going on? That's kind of it. We're moving into Aries season. So we're like halfway to the solar eclipse in Aries, that's at 9 degrees. That's going to be on the 29th ish of March. And so we'll talk more about that, of course, in the coming days. What else? Sun's conjunct Neptune. I talked about that. Mars is moving forward. He's going to trine Saturn again. So yeah, it's a lot going on. It's a lot of fire energy. And so, anger, rage, being kind of just outspoken, or, that kind of thing. What else? Of course, I will get your Aries season, sun, and rising signs posted here coming up soon. So you guys will have those to get through the Aries solar eclipse and the Libra full moon, and all of that. So, but this is going to be a very intense Aries season. And while Pisces had some health related things come up, I feel like things are going to be a bit different with Aries because it's more like inflammation and blood and things like that can be affected. So, be attentive to your own body, be attentive to your body, and all of that. So, all right, we're back to the Star Trek Next Gen Tarot. So let's see what's going on with Star Trek Next Gen Tarot. Think about this as like Klingons. Like Aries to me is Klingon. When I did the Aries tea tasting, that one of the teas just tasted like something a Klingon would drink. It was like a spicy chai. And I was like, this is such a Klingon tasting tea. Yeah. So think about Klingon when you think about Aries, the warrior, the, you know, their heads were a bit bigger, right? Because they had like the exaggerated forehead and things like that. And so yeah. So let's see what we got. That warrior fighting energy going on. Better be ready to fight for what the fuck you want for yourself, not for everybody else. Because that's what this Aries season is gonna um, pull you to the test of like, are you sure you want to fight for that when you need to be fighting for yourself and your needs and what you need to be experiencing? All right, we got the Knight of Starships in reverse. Oh, I can never remember this gal's name. She was in like one fucking episode, and I can never remember her name. But Knight of Starships in reverse, so Knight of Cups in reverse, or Knight of Water in reverse. Um, this is like emotional, like what do I want to say here? Like Knight of Cups is like Knight of Cups in reverse. This is like emotional, like I feel like a Knight of Cups upright would be like having a good handle on your emotions, but like this is not, right? You're not able to emotionally detach from shit that's none of your business. In other words, what I just said, you need to learn how, we all need to learn how to fight for ourselves and not, okay, I'm gonna bring this up, okay, because I'm a blind person, legally blind person, and there's a bunch of blindness organizations out there and they're fighting for rights for other groups of people who will remain nameless. But my point is they're fighting for the rights of other groups of people. And while I'm empathetic and understanding that everyone deserves rights, you are a blindness organization. You need to be focused on blindness rights, right? So that could be said for anything, right? So if you or an organization or whatever is lost focus on taking a stand for the specific group of people that they started fighting for, like family, right? Family is super simple, and you're not standing up and fighting for your family. That's what this Knight of Cups, Knight of Starships in reverse is about, is, and this Aries season, right? It's if you can't stand and fight for the laser focused group of people, yourself, your family, whatever specific group, like niche group, right, that you're a part of, like, but you're over here fighting for this family, the neighbor's family, you're keeping up with the Joneses, you're fighting for your bestie, but you have forgotten to fight for your wife and your children or your husband and your children. That's what this is. You've lost focus on what you actually need to be fighting for. Knights fight, right? Knight in shining armor with the sword and everything, right? You have emotionally attached yourself, not you specifically, y'all know what I mean. You've emotionally attached yourself to this other group, this other entity, and you've lost focus on fighting for the one that's right in your home. Mars is in Cancer. That's home, family. Let's get another card just for shits and giggles. The Tower. Oh, well, damn. Hue of Borg. Ooh, that's some's crumbling. Some's coming apart. No doubt, with all that Piscean energy we still got going on in those final degrees of Pisces. Neptune is inching closer and closer. He's about a week away, not even like 7, 8 days away from moving into Aries, yeah, something's coming apart. Something's coming apart. And you may have caused it, or somebody may have caused it because they're fighting the wrong battle. If you're fighting the wrong battle or fighting a battle that's not in alignment or not in the best interest of you, your family, your people, then it's going to tower and fall apart. This is a Jenga tower that's too high and it's falling apart. Eesh, eesh, eesh. It's also eclipse portal time, so it's not like, some shit could go down with geopolitical stuff. All right, we got the hell is this deck called? Like gods and goddesses, gods and I always forget what it's called. Uh, it is the angels and ancestors. That's what it's called. I don't know. I always want to call it the gods, angels and ancestors deck. I haven't used this one in a hot while. We'll use this for Aries season because I like it. Yeah, like many people have like I mean, this is like oh my goodness, like all the telethons that they use to emotionally reel you into donating money to help all the poor innocent suffering, blah 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 blah. Like that's the emotional attachment to causes or entities outside of your family. So like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about with that Knight of Starships in reverse. And this Aries season is like your family can't afford whatever new clothes, but you're going to donate money because you feel for the suffering of others. I'm not saying don't feel for the suffering of others. Don't get all like Sarah's a cold-hearted bitch. No, that's not it. But I don't need to give them my money either or my resources when they're probably getting resources from somewhere, grants, etc. Um, we have Animal Guardian. Trust your instincts, y'all. Trust your instincts. See, and this is where I feel like it could go both ways because you're probably like, well, if I trust my instincts tell me that I should donate money to XYZ cause, because that's where, they're tugging on my heartstrings and that makes me feel good. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying like be aware of what you're donating to, right? We're going to find out very quickly that most nonprofits are not what they're cracked up to be. Okay? They're not. Many of them are getting money from multiple streams, multiple sources. They don't need your donations. Is your donations going to what you think it's going for? In some cases, yes. In many cases, however, no, it's not. It's not. It's not going to what you think it's going towards. I feel like that's the biggest problem that I have with nonprofits is like most of the donations are not going to what people think they're going for, right? So anyway, all right. So, like I said, pay attention to your physical body and all that, and make sure that you're putting yourself, your immediate family, your immediate people ahead of situations that are not your business, not your problem, not your circus, not your monkeys. All right, y'all. Happy Aries season, and I will talk to you on the next video. Take care.